In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. He was in the beginning with God. All things were made through him, and without him nothing was made that was made.
For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whoever believes in him should not perish, but have everlasting life. For God did not send his Son into the world to condemn the world, but that the world through him might be saved.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the show. You're watching Untethered Live. Won't you come with me as we go together off the deep end? I'm your host, Jake Johnson. I'll be with you for the remainder of the evening. I have computer problems, so it is entirely possible that this will crash while we're doing the live stream. If it does, just wait, be patient. I'll be back. I won't leave you stranded. I won't leave you hanging. But I got an update for my OBS software, the system that runs my show, and ever since then it keeps crashing on me every few minutes. So I think I've got it worked out. It's a little sluggish, but it is working so far. If it crashes, just wait. I'll be back whenever I can be. I apologize for the inconvenience. I will have it worked out as quickly as I possibly can. It's just going to take me a little time because running a TV show is expensive, and that's how it works. All right. We are in the book of Proverbs today. That would be chapter 27, verse 10. That's where we are. That's what we're doing. You can join us if you like, if you got your Bibles handy. I'm going to shoot the breeze for a minute and allow people to roll in as they come. Whoever's coming comes. And then we'll get started. Hey, we got a watcher already. Hey, Laura, how are you? Good to see you. Welcome to the show. It's nerve-wracking. Little aggravating. I finally got everything set up like I want it, and now my computer's crapping out on me. It just can't take the strain. What it is, I know what the problem is, but I can't solve it because this is an older PC, so Windows 10 is the limit. That's as far as it goes. But they've come out with Windows 11, and now they're rolling back everything on Windows 10, so nothing works anymore because all the new software coming out's directed for Windows 11. So basically, I just need to buy a new computer or, supersede the drama and get one that's more powerful than the universe, and then I can do it. It's all a racket. It's what it is. Anybody out there that's got a brand new computer, though, I sure could use one. Let me know. Hit me up in the chat or email me at jakejohnsonband@gmail.com. However you want to play it. I do need it. If you want this podcast to continue anyway, because I can't do it off of my brain. But I'm working on it. I'm trying. We're getting there. How's your day been? How's things in your neck of the woods? How's the weather where you're at? It's kind of rainy here. A little bit rainy, not quite. It wants to rain. I do have a couple of interesting developments. I'll get into that in a little while. See if some more folks are going to show up. Oh, what a beautiful day it is. Overcast, cloudy. No work today. Sitting at home watching the sky. It's been good? Good. Glad to hear it. That seems overly descriptive and full of details. I like it. I been working on this computer for the last 2 hours trying to get it to function properly. Everything works fine, except for when I hit the go button, then everything falls apart. So it don't mind me using the software, it just don't want me streaming live for some reason. I'm running at about 60% CPU right now, which is high. It shouldn't be anywhere near that, which means it's probably going to crash on me, but hopefully it won't. Hopefully we'll be all right. I'm going to have to do the show without words again tonight. That sucks, but you just have to trust me. You've watched me do it long enough. You know I'm reading from the Bible. You know the words I'm putting on screen are the words I'm coming out of my mouth, so you'll just have to deal with it. I stay home most of the time, can't drive anymore. That's not good. Why can't you drive anymore? I'm guessing it's a seeing issue. I probably shouldn't be driving. I'm blind as a bat, but that's all right. If I wanted to stop, I should have thought about that before I got behind the wheel of a car. Somebody asked me the other day, said, Jake, how come you don't just quit smoking? I said, my mama didn't raise no quitter. What's the matter with you? I'm a do or die, riding to the end kind of guy. Where is everybody at? Blind in your left eye. Well, there's lots of people out there with one eye. Just close your left eye. Use your right eye and look really hard to the left when you want to see. You can make it. I'm not saying it's smart, but it's doable. I know it sucks getting old. Getting old ain't for sissies. Gotta be tough. Life's gonna throw it your way. I'm having old issues myself, but that's just part of life. My lungs have decided, oh, we can make fluid. Let's do that. Wake up every morning about half to drowned, coughing and gagging. It's just life. Just getting old. Driving like that puts others at risk. I agree. You're probably doing the smart thing. I wouldn't do it, but I'm not smart, so. I've driven a vehicle with 0 brakes for a while. I got brakes now, though, but that time was white knuckly. Very much so. No idea if it's going to stop at all. Hey, there's a 420. What's happening, brother? Good to see you, too. I missed you yesterday. But you watched it today? Good. Good. We had a pretty good podcast the other night. Last night. It was a good read anyway. It was a bad podcast because my computer kept crashing on me. My computer has outlived its usefulness, I think. About time to put her down. I need a new one. LOL, yeah, you are. Smart, yeah. I'm something. Wise. Smart is debatable. Where's my April at tonight? I was at a barbecue. Music was loud where I was at. Heck yeah. That's what I'm talking about. Live music or just music? I'm a sucker for live music. I like the bands. Let me see if I can get April on here. She's late. Live. Send. That'll get it. That'll get her attention. Just music. Hey, Diego, what's happening? I looked away and there you are. Good to see you, my friend. Glad you could join. Gimme. You see, you should have told him, well, I know this guy, Jake Johnson. He plays rock and roll music. You should hire him. He'll come play for you. I'll go. I ain't scared. They pay me enough. I'll drive to California. Was watching a documentary with my dad called Presidents at War, WW2, Shaped Our Nation's Leaders. Yeah, it did. Fear not, my friend. We're about to experience World War III, so everything's good. All is right in the world. By the way, that documentary that you told me to look at, there's Kevin Cox. What's happening, my brother? Oof. That documentary you told me to look at, Richard Dawkins, the only one I found with that title was not a documentary. It was just his explaining one thing about his views. There's nothing there to debate. Is there a longer version of that? Because I didn't find it. You might need to send it to me. But what I found was him being interviewed by another guy. It wasn't him talking. It was him being interviewed and him answering questions. But in that, there was nothing to debate. He's an idiot. It's obvious. So if there's a longer version of that with him talking, like addressing a crowd, expelling his beliefs, that's the one I want. But the one I found was only 12 minutes long. That's not long enough to even do a podcast on. That was the video? And we need more than that. Where's April at tonight, Kev? Oh, she's getting on soon? Good. Excellent. I got some things to discuss with everybody, so I'm going to get your opinion. I finished a song this week. Got a brand new song that's going to be recorded soon, and it'll be put on the podcast so you'll be able to hear it in its entirety very soon. I'm kind of happy about it. I let the band hear it for the first time yesterday at band practice just before the podcast. And they seem to like it. I think I got something there. It's a political song. It has power. I think you'll like it too. I have a better video for you. The biblical story that disproves the Bible's Noah's flood. A channel called Truth Hurts, a former Jehovah's Witness. Well, we're going to have fun with them if that's a decent length of a video, because Jehovah's Witnesses believe some strange things. I'll look into that one tonight and see if it's got what I need, and if it does, I'll do it. How are things going between Ukraine and Russia? Well, I heard that, I don't know, but I heard that Russia has basically invaded Ukraine with peace offerings, some kind of peace program they got going on there. It's basically the same thing they did in Crimea. It's not an actual attack, but it is an invasion. So I don't know. I doubt U.S. is going to do anything about it because Joe Biden's kind of scared. And yes, they are a false religion. Yeah, I don't know too much about the Ukraine-Russia deal. I just know that it's par for the course. I mean, things are going to happen. The world is coming to an end slowly. So look to see those things occurring. The Bible talks about things heating up in the Middle East and in that area. So this is just one of those things. It's going to happen. They'll cry, peace, 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 but there shall be no peace. Russia has big guns. Yes, they do. They have almost as big a guns as America has. Some people say they have bigger guns than America has. Don't know which is true. Hillary is back bad-mouthing conservatives and faithful Bible Christians and Trump. Well, you know what happened to her last time? Well, people are way more pissed at her now than they were then. Don't think she's going to get very far. She certainly ain't going to be president. Not if my vote has anything to do with it, but that's just me. Just winning friends and influencing people. That's what we do here. That is known as a hippie invasion. Peace, love, and the Beatles. All you need is love, baby. I preach that myself, but I'm no hippie. All right, so for the big news, I'll be talking about it periodically throughout the podcast, but I'll go ahead and let you guys in on it. Number one, I've been asked to preach a sermon on Sunday mornings at a nursing home to do a Bible study with the people that are there. What do you think about that? Do you think I should do it? And do you think that's God's way of saying, get bigger? And number two, I just got my first invitation to a sponsorship. I wanted to know how you guys felt about that. What that means is, if I agree to their terms, which I haven't seen yet, I'm still waiting on a response. I just got the initial contact last night. Means that at the beginning of every show, there'll be a 2-minute commercial for a video game. And then on with the podcast. If I agree to their terms. But you guys got to be on board too, or I'm not going to do it. So tell me what you think about that. You think I should deal with sponsors? Keep in mind, I do need to eat. So, there's that. But it was kind of cool that they reached out to me. That means that the channel's growing big enough that it's starting to get people's attention, which is good. It's a good thing. I want it to get people's attention. It's April. I'm coming in. Will you come on in, baby? The water's warm. Yeah, it's okay, Jake. I don't really want to have ads on my channel, but since it's me doing it and not some other company, it won't be like the video will be interrupted. Basically, that portion, the beginning portion of my podcast where the music is before the podcast starts, I'll just put it there. So that'll be my intro into the podcast. So it will be like you hadn't missed anything. It won't interrupt the podcast at all. I'll see to that. But I think it's either I think they said either 2 or 7 minutes, 2 to 7 minutes. So anywhere in between 2 and 7 minutes. I'll probably make it 4. And I'll just make a little video and tout the product. I got to try it first. I'm not going to push something I don't like. So there's that. But it's just a little like one of those video games for your phone. It's called Legends Mobile. And if they give me a decent amount of money to make videos for them, I'll do it. If everybody's in agreement. If it helps you be able to keep the podcast on, I see no reason not to, but I'm sure you'll do what's best. Well, I'm trying to. That's why I'm asking everybody before I do it. I'm not just going to throw it on everybody. They allow you to skip advertisements. Well, this is a different thing than that. That would be an advertisement from another company putting ads on my video. I'm not ever going to do that. But I might say, this is the product. I play it. Here's what it looks like. So and so. But it'll be me doing the ad, not some other company. It won't be like interrupting the podcast. And like I said, I would put it in at the beginning where the music is before the podcast starts when everybody's getting here. So it really wouldn't interfere with anything. Why don't I put a biblical landscape in the background? I did. Don't you see all the crosses in that background? You don't have to listen to it. Oh, I'll listen to all suggestions, Diego. That's what we do here. We're a team. If that's what you want, I'll put it up there. I'm not going to do it right now because I'm scared it'll crash on me if I try, but the next podcast I'll put one up. How about that? See if I can't find something religious-y. Basically the same reason I don't wear a suit. Congratulations on the sponsor. Thank you. I haven't got it yet. I haven't even agreed to it yet, but I did get contacted though, so it's interesting. I don't know what to expect. I've never had a sponsor before, so we'll see. If they're not going to offer me any decent amount of money, I'm not going to do it anyway because there's no upside for me. I mean, like an ancient Jerusalem painting by James Tissot. Tissot? 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 Tissot. I'm going with Tissot. Sure. I don't know who James Tissot is, but I'll look into him if that's what you're into. I'm just here to spread the word, man. I don't care what's behind me. I just thought that was pleasant and not too busy. That sounds like a good idea. Image of King Solomon. Kev, April, what do you guys think? And what do you think about me doing a sermon every Sunday morning at a nursing home? Not a sermon, but a Bible study. Yeah, I could. I could put images up of every book. I get the idea. I don't know how far down that rabbit hole I'd want to go, but I'll put some stuff up for you. I think he is. I think the Lord called me to do this. That's why I started doing it. I certainly didn't do it because I enjoyed the idea of it. I once drove past Tampa Stadium and ended up in a traffic jam of hippies. Who was to know there was a Grateful Dead concert? I do not recall them speaking Russian. Interesting. There she is. Hey, April. Good to see you, sweetheart. Did you catch all of that? I'll repeat it just in case you didn't. I got asked to do a Bible study every Sunday morning at a nursing home. What do you think about that? You think I should? And number two, I just got contacted last night for my first sponsorship, which would entail me making a video ad about a video game that I would put at the beginning of my podcast, and in return, they would pay me. If everything is in agreement and they offer me a substantial enough amount of money to do so, what do you think about me putting a personalized ad from me on the beginning of the podcast? As someone who has worked in nursing homes, I think you would do well if you include gospel music. They love to connect to it. I might. I'm not much of a gospel music person, but I could get some recordings. Yes, yeah, I love it. Well, I want to see what they're going to offer me first. I just got contacted last night. I'm still waiting for the press packet to come in and see what all they're going to offer to do. I'm not going to make a video for nothing. I'm certainly not going to occupy 2 to 5 minutes of space on my podcast for nothing. But if they'll give me a substantial or a monthly stipend, then yeah, I'll do it. I've actually been to a nursing home preaching, and it helped. It was fun. Hello, my Laura is here. How are you? Says April. Yay, we're all here. It's a big bunch of family. It's good. Now, my computer has been crashing on me the past few days ever since a new update came in that's no longer compatible with Windows 10, which is why it's happening. So we're going to have to do the podcast without words on screen again today because every time I put the words up, it crashes. Can't handle it for some reason. I hadn't figured out why yet. So bear with me. I'm trying to fix it. It's going to take me a little while. I got to get a new power supply for my old computer over there. And that's going to be kind of expensive, so I need to save up to do that. But when I get that, then the problem will be solved. Because that computer's bad to the bone. It can do everything. I could run the country from that one. But it's got a bad power supply, so I have to wait. I think some religious artwork I could send you, Jake, if you don't mind. Send ahead on, buddy. I could probably send you the images through email. Yeah, you sure could. You got my email address, don't you? Hello, Diego. Much love to you and all, says April. You're so full of love all the time. You really brighten up the place. Thank you for that. Alrighty. Well, it's about that time. It's 9:03, so we're going to get started. Again, I apologize for not having the words on screen. It causes my OBS to crash, and I can't have that right now. So you'll just have to trust me. You've seen me do it long enough. You know I'm telling you the truth. You know I'm reading the words from the Bible, so you just have to trust that they're there. Don't blow your nose on camera, Jake. It's unprofessional. Bad boy. Here we go. Thine own friend and thy father's friend forsake not, neither go into thy brother's house in the day of thy calamity. For better is a neighbor that is near than a brother that is far off. And that's a fact, Jack. Always keep your friends close to you because that's better than them being far away from you. Doesn't matter how close you are. If they're far away, they're not very close. Common sense. My son, be wise and make my heart glad, that I may answer him that reproacheth me. Always be prepared. Always have an answer, because you will receive criticism in your walk in Christianity. Inevitably, there's some jackbooted atheist that's going to question you on your beliefs. My advice to you is to know what you believe. Prove yourself. Know thyself. A prudent man foreseeth the evil, and hideth himself, but the simple pass on, and are punished. Take his garment, that is surety for a stranger, and take a pledge of him for a strange woman. This is the second time we've read this particular verse. It must be important. In the old days, they would offer a token to a woman as a pledge or a down payment, as it were. A belt or a jacket or some personal item that a man would give to a woman to prove his love for her, and she would either accept it or not, and that would be the forerunner for the sexual relationship. So, take a sure thing whenever you can. He that blesseth his friend with a loud voice, rising early in the morning, it shall be counted a curse to him. I think what that's trying to say is that when you bless your friends, do it between you and your friend. Don't be all loud and boisterous and make everybody see it, because then you're making it about you, and that's not what you want to do. A gift should be a gift in secret. It should be between you and the giftee, not between you and the whole world. Nobody cares how philanthropist you are. That's akin to virtue signaling. I think that's what that's trying to say. A continual dropping in a very rainy day and a contentious woman are alike. In other words, she's constantly pouring out like a rainy day. Continual rain. Whosoever hideth her hideth the wind, and the ointment of his right hand, which is bewraithed itself, or hidden itself. Right hand is a symbol of power. It's the work or the power of an establishment. Iron sharpeneth iron. So a man sharpeneth the countenance of his friend. Yes, when you hang around smart people, you inevitably get smarter. That's true. Whosoever keepeth the fig tree shall eat the fruit thereof. So he that waiteth on his master shall be honored. Always give of your time to those who are in charge, as it were, because it will gain favor with them, and favor can change your life. As in water, face answereth to face, so the heart of man to man. Hell and destruction are never full, so the eyes of a man are never satisfied. True. Being a man myself, I can vouch for that one. There's always something better. Grass is always greener on the other side, and hell never fills up. So, as long as they make men, they'll make sinners. As the fining pot for silver, and the furnace for gold, so is a man to his praise. It sharpens you. It makes you better. It removes the impurities from your heart when you praise, when you stay in praise. Though thou shouldest bray a fool in a mortar among wheat with a pestle. You know what a mortar and a pestle is? A mortar and a pestle is a little bowl with a stick that you put wheat in and then bang the stick into the bowl until it is turned to powder. You grind it until it's powder. That's what a mortar and pestle is. And that's what you should do to a fool, grind him to dust. You should. Yet will not his foolishness depart from him. Even if you do grind him to dust, he's still a fool. So you hadn't done anything by doing so. It sometimes feels good to knock people down a peg or two, but it ain't doing them any good because they're still going to be idiotic. There's nothing you can do. You can't fix stupid. Be thou diligent to know the state of thy flocks, and look well to thy herds. Pay attention to things that belong to you, or the people that are under you, or the friends that are in your circle. Be diligent. Pay attention to them. Fill their needs. Often I hear how heaven can hold so many people, but I never hear the same about hell. That's because it has a revolving door, Kev. In they go, in they go. Whoop, 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 whoop. They never stop coming. Because there's a lot of stupid in the world. There's very few. The Bible refers to the Christian movement as a remnant, which is a little sliver of carpet that's left over after you carpet a house. That's a remnant, or fabric when you make clothing. You don't call it a remnant because there's thousands of us. It's a small, thin group of people left over that still believe the true word of God. I believe we're in that group. The rest of them going into the lake of fire. Think about that. And hope they ask for forgiveness quickly. Riches are not forever, and doth the crown endure to every generation. The hay appeareth, and the tender grass showeth itself, and herbs of the mountain are gathered. The lambs are for thy clothing, that's the wool of the lamb, and the goats are the price of the field. Back in the old days, we didn't have money in the form of paper, but you could trade barley or wheat or goats or oxen or something to that effect for goods, and that's what they did. That's what their purpose is. Thou shalt have goat's milk enough for thy food, for the food of thy household, and for the maintenance for thy maidens. Not only will you have enough to feed your family, but you'll have enough to feed your servants too. The wicked flee when no man pursueth, but the righteous are bold as a lion. That's right, we stand our ground. We're not running from anybody. The wicked are often scared of their own shadow. Don't believe me? Watch the government. Watch how they act around people. For the transgressions of a land, many are the princes thereof. But by a man of understanding and knowledge, the state thereof shall be prolonged. You get a man with understanding and knowledge to run your land, it'll last a whole lot longer. You get a fool up there, or a person that's full of transgression, somebody that's corrupt, and watch it fall. Watch your nation fall. Watch what's happening to this nation. We've got a corrupt politician running it right now. Watch and see how that works. A poor man that oppresseth the poor is like a sweeping rain which leaveth no food. That's right. Poor man will gobble you up, eat you out of house and home. There's a reason they're poor. There's a reason they're not taking care of themselves. They that forsake the law praise the wicked, but such as keep the law contend with them. That's right. Keep the law. Evil men understand not judgment, but they that seek the Lord understand all things. And that's because you realize that all things are simple. The answer, Occam's razor, the simplest answer usually is the truth. And the simplest answer is, the Lord giveth and the Lord taketh away. Which side of that equation do you want to be on? Better is the poor that walketh in his uprightness than he that is perverse in his ways, though he be rich. I don't care how rich you are. If you are perverse in your ways, it's going to count against you. Your money don't mean anything in the grand scheme of things. Whoso keepeth the law is a wise son, but he that is a companion of riotous men shameth his father. You want to be a guy that makes your daddy proud? Be an upright person that follows the law. If you hang out with rioters, you are a shame to your father. Believe that, because that makes you as guilty as they. He that by usury and unjust gain increaseth his substance, he shall gather it for him that will pity the poor. What did I tell you about usury? What did I tell you about rich people? Number one, never enter into usury because it puts you on the bottom of the equation. You are then beholden to the user, and you are the usee or the usury, meaning that you now owe them, and you owe them interest, which is even more than you borrowed, which puts them in the leadership role and you in the slave role, and you are a slave to those who you owe money to. Don't be that guy. And number two, there's only two ways to get rich. Either you're born rich or you did something wicked to get rich. And I'm talking big rich, not wealthy. Billions of dollars rich. Those men are all guilty of something. You can see it on their faces. Don't be that. Take your poorness and be happy with what you have. Make do. Live within your means. He that turneth away his ear from hearing the law, even his prayer shall be abomination. If you will not adhere to the law of Moses, and even the law of the land, as long as it doesn't disagree with God's law, then you will be, even your prayers will be an abomination. It's not something that you want to be. Whosoever causeth the righteous to go astray is an evil way. He shall fall himself into his own pit. But the upright shall have good things in possession. Think about that for a minute. Those Richard Dawkins of the world, those atheists of the world, anybody that causes you to stumble on your way to Christianity, causes you to doubt what you're reading, all of those people, they've dug a pit and they're going to fall into that pit themselves because they were a stumbling block to you or to anyone else. Be upright and accumulate good things. Surround yourself with good things and you'll have good possessions. It's common sense. A rich man is wise in his own conceit, but the poor man hath understanding, searcheth him out. A poor man that has understanding will search out the rich man to find out what he did to become rich. When righteous men do rejoice, there is great glory. When the wicked rise, a man is hidden. He that covereth his sins shall not prosper. Don't hide your sins. Be proud of who you are, good and bad. But whoso confesseth and forsaketh them shall have mercy. Remember what I told you about asking for forgiveness? You can't con God. You have to mean it. You have to be sincere in your request. If you truly abhor the sin you've caused and you are sorry for it, then you have no intention of ever doing it again. That is cause for forgiveness. But if you think that you can just sin and then ask for forgiveness and it'll all be okay, you're wrong. That's not how it works. God's not an idiot. He knows what's in your heart. That is the answer to the man that says, oh, so you can rape and murder and spend your life in prison, and just before you die on death row, you can just ask for forgiveness and all is hunky-dory, right? And they'll go to heaven just like you, right? Wrong. That man will ultimately face judgment. Everybody goes to heaven to start with. Nobody goes to hell. That's not happened yet. Every person that dies, their spirit goes back to the Father who gave it. Period. It's what the Bible says all through it. You're not going to hell. You're going to wherever God is, which is heaven. Then you face judgment afterwards. You are a pleasure to be with you. Thank you, sir. Faith must be kept. Yes, it must. Not only must it be kept, it must be believed. You must have faith in that faith. Faithfully. Happy is the man that feareth always, but he that hardeneth his heart shall fall into mischief. Don't be so tough that you have to suffer your whole life. It's okay to be afraid. That word fear means reverence, by the way, not terror. It's not okay to be a coward, but it is okay to have reverence for the things that are around you. As a roaring lion and as a raging bear, so is a wicked ruler over the poor people. That's a fact. The prince that wanteth understanding is also a great oppressor. But he that hateth covetousness shall prolong his days. Well, covetousness is akin to jealousy. It's also akin to theft. It's not exactly either one of those things, but it's kind of a combination of the two. Anytime you want something somebody else has bad enough, you're almost willing to do anything to get it. That's not a good place to be. A prince that wants understanding can also be an oppressor because he doesn't yet have understanding. He doesn't know that he's oppressing. But if he hates covetousness, that means he's on the right path. At least he's going in the right direction. A man that doth violence to the blood of any person shall flee to the pit. Let no man stay him. Let no man stand in his way. Let him hurry up and get on to the pit where he belongs. Don't do violence. What does that mean? That means to lie in wait and to hurt somebody on purpose. It doesn't mean defending yourself. Whosoever walketh uprightly shall be saved. Think about that. If you live all your days in an upright fashion, if you do good and you follow the commandments, you will be saved. You don't actually have to do anything. You're grandfathered in because you're good. But he that is perverse in his ways shall fall at once. There'll be no waiting around. There'll be no hem-hawing. He's going down. Don't be perverse in your ways. What does perversion mean? We said that word a lot. To be perverse is to twist the normal, to upend things that are right, subverting your expectations, subverting your possibilities. That's what perversion means. Anything you twist, anything you pervert is bad. Take it for what it is. Don't pervert it into something it's not. He that tilleth his land shall have plenty of bread, but he that followeth after vain persons shall have poverty enough. That's easy enough to understand. Spend your time building what's yours. Don't worry about what somebody else is doing so much. A faithful man shall abound with blessings, but he that maketh haste to be rich shall not be innocent. That's right. If you get rich and you weren't born into it, you did something wicked to get it. You're not innocent. Believe that, because riches don't just come to everybody. He that hasteth to be rich hath an evil eye, and considereth not that poverty shall come upon him. He doesn't understand. He's too busy looking after the evil. He that rebuketh a man afterwards shall find more favor than he that flattereth with his tongue. Yeah. Sometimes a man will respect you more if you're honest with him and rebuke him in his bad ways than if you just flatter him, because flattery will get you everywhere for a minute, and then it falls phony. It rings phony. It's untrue. It's flattery. Whoso robbeth his father or his mother and saith, it is no transgression, the same is the companion of a destroyer. You ever taken something from your parents and thought, well, they're my parents. I have as much right to it as they do. That's stealing. And you are a companion of the destroyer, or a destroyer, not the destroyer. Change that. Ask for forgiveness and give back what you took, if so. He that is of a proud heart stirreth up strife, but he that putteth his trust in the Lord shall be made fat. Always put your trust in the Lord. Never make a decision without consulting him first. He that trusteth his own heart is a fool, but whoso walketh wisely, he shall be delivered. And how do you walk wisely? By trusting in the Lord. Trust in the Father is the very beginning of wisdom. The next step is admitting you know nothing at all. He that giveth unto the poor shall not lack, but he that hideth his eyes shall have many a curse. Never look away when somebody's in need. That's God saying, hey, you saw it, you fix it. He that giveth unto the poor shall not lack. I read that. When the wicked rise, men hide themselves, but when they perish, the righteous increase. Well, yeah, because the ones that are hiding themselves are the ones that end up getting killed because they're cowards. And the righteous are the ones out battling the wicked that rise. He that being often reproved hardeneth his neck shall suddenly be destroyed, and that without remedy. You ever got jaded? You ever dealt with something so long that you just got tough to it? Just started ignoring it, letting it roll off your back? That is the beginning of your destruction. Being jaded, being bitter. Don't be bitter. Don't be jaded. Don't harden your neck to the world. I know it's a wicked place. I know it's hard when you get hurt over and over again. Don't shut yourself off to love, though. Shutting yourself off to love is the first step into your destruction, followed by depression and thinking the world's out to get you and all of that stuff that comes with it. Don't allow yourself to be in that position. Keep your positive hope and keep faith in the Lord, and you'll always come out on top. When the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. But when the wicked beareth rule, the people mourn. You can see evidence of this from when Trump got into office, and then when he lost his election to Biden via cheating, of course. So they say, propaganda. Or not. The attitude of the people was entirely different. The people were rejoicing because finally God was in charge, and he proved a point. That may have been all it took. And then evil took over again, because that's the way it works. It goes bad one generation, it goes good one generation. Seems to be that way. Watch and see. The good guys will win next year. Watch and see. Or next term, rather. Good and bad, good and bad. It just keeps flip-flopping. Well, there's a reason for that. It's called balance. God's not going to let us fall too far into depravity. This is, after all, his country. This is that land talked about in the Bible that's divided by rivers and flowing with milk and honey. That's this place. Think about it. Know of any other land divided by rivers? You can think of some that are divided by a river, but not multiple rivers like this one is. Whoso loveth wisdom rejoiceth his father. But he that keepeth company with harlots spendeth his substance. Why? Because harlots are expensive. You're going to go paying for ass, you're going to look for spending some money. And you'll spend it all up because that's good to you. And it's like getting hooked. It's like an addiction. Don't be that guy. The king by judgment establisheth the land, but he that receiveth gifts overthroweth it. That's being bought, being paid for. That's like the super PACs and the lobbyists buying off politicians. That's the ones that receive gifts, and they overthrow the land. But a king by judgment establishes it, or a leader. A man that flattereth his neighbor spreadeth a net for his feet. Don't speak of flatteries. Tell the truth, good or bad. In the transgression of an evil man there is a snare, but the righteous doeth sing and rejoice. The righteous considereth the cause of the poor, but the wicked regardeth not to know it. They don't even look. They hide their eyes. They shield themselves from the poor people that fly over states. You know what I'm talking about. Scornful men bring a city to a snare, but wise men turn away wrath. If a wise man contendeth with a foolish man, whether he rage or laugh, there is no rest. Think about all of the riots that are going on right now, and all of the mayhem that's up in the air, and all of the people getting canceled, and they're contending with the foolish men. The bloodthirsty hate the upright, but the just seek his soul. A fool uttereth all his mind, but a wise man keepeth it until afterwards. Don't spill all your beans. Don't lay all your cards on the table. Keep some close to your vest. That's what he's saying. Be smart. Be wiser than the serpent. If a ruler hearken to lies, all his servants are wicked. The poor and the deceitful man meet together. The Lord lighteneth both their eyes. They'll both see right from wrong, and they'll both be judged accordingly. The king that faithfully judgeth the poor, his throne shall be established forever. The rod and reproof give wisdom, but a child left to himself bringeth his mother to shame. That's because he has no education, no capital punishment, no learning. The South used to say, don't get above your raisin, boy. That's what we mean by that. A little bit of reproof goes a long way. When the wicked are multiplied, transgression increaseth, but the righteous shall see their fall. Correct thy son, and he shall give thee rest. Yea, he shall give delight unto thy soul. But you have to correct your children. Call them out when they're wrong. Show them right from wrong. Don't just beat on them. Tell them why they're being punished. Explain it to them. Tell them what the right move is. And then tell them you love them and you're doing this for their own good. I know it sucks, but that's the way of the world, folks. Where there is no vision, the people perish. But he that keepeth the law, happy is he. We're living in a country right now that seems to have no vision, no foresight for the future, no understanding of what they're doing and how it will cause harm when you can clearly see it. You ever ask yourself, why don't they let me run the country? I can see what this idiot's doing. I can see what's going to happen when he does so-and-so, and then so-and-so happens when he does it. It's amazing. You wonder why he don't see it. He's right there in the thick of it all. How come he can't see what I can see? And I'm not even a politician and I can see it. He does see it. He's not an idiot. That's why he's in the position he's in. The difference is he doesn't want to fix it. He wants to make it worse so that he can prey on the people that suffer from it. Never let a good calamity go to waste. A servant will not be corrected by words, for though he understand, he will not answer, because he's a servant. Seest thou a man that is hasty in his words, speaks really rapidly, says too much? There is more hope of a fool than of him, the guy that talks all the time, jabber, 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 jabber. He that delicately bringeth up his servant from a child shall have him become his son at the length. Well, you're already doing the job of a father. You might as well adopt him. An angry man stirreth up strife, and a furious man aboundeth in transgression. Don't ever lose your cool, folks. Keep your cool. Make good decisions, angry or not. A man's pride shall bring him low, but honor shall uphold the humble in spirit. Be honorable, be humble. This is good for your soul. Whoso is partner with a thief hateth his own soul. He heareth cursing and bewrayeth it not, or hides it not. The fear of a man bringeth a snare, but whoso putteth his trust in the Lord shall be safe. This word fear is talking about terror, not reverence. Many seek the ruler's favor, but every man's judgment cometh from the Lord, not your ruler. Your ruler is just in charge of the land. The Lord is in charge of your soul. It's nice to have the king's favor or the ruler's favor, but it's not the be-all, end-all of your judgment. Sorry, allergies. An unjust man is an abomination to the just, and he that is upright in the way is abomination to the wicked. That's what you want to be. You want to be upright in all your ways, and you want to really piss off the wicked, because that means you're doing something right. The words of Agur, the son of Jacob, even the prophecy, the man spake unto Ithiel, even unto Ithiel and Ukal. Surely I am more brutish than any man, and have not the understanding of a man. I neither learned wisdom, nor have the knowledge of the holy. Who hath ascended up into heaven, or descended? Who hath gathered the wind in his fists? Who hath bound the waters in the garment? Who hath established all the ends of the earth? What is his name? And what is his son's name? If thou canst tell. I can. His name is Yahweh, and his son's name, Jesus Christ. Every word of God is pure. He is a shield unto them that put their trust in him. There's that word, Shabbat. It's a very important word. Add thou not unto his words, lest he reprove thee, and thou be found a liar. Do not ever add to or take away from the words of God. You don't need to. His words are perfect. You don't need to add anything. 2 things have I required of thee. Deny me them not before I die. Remove far from me vanity and lies. Give me neither poverty nor riches. Feed me with food convenient for me, lest I be full, and deny thee, and say, Who is the Lord? Or lest I be poor and steal, and take the name of my God in vain. Does take the name of your Lord in vain mean to say a word like GD or Jesus H. Christ? Or is taking the Lord's name in vain being one of those preachers that'll get up there and tell you, God said so and so to me, and I'm telling you because God told me to save you and send me $1,000 and I'll send you this t-shirt? That's taking the Lord's name in vain. God didn't speak to that man. I know for a fact he didn't. Never claim to know something God said to you, because that's not true. That's taking the Lord's name in vain. To blame him for something you did, or to give him credit for something he didn't do, that's taking the Lord's name in vain. Accuse not a servant unto his master, lest he curse thee, and thou be found guilty. Yeah, don't do that. Unless you're sure that somebody did something, don't accuse them of things. There is a generation that curseth their father, and doth not bless their mother. There is a generation that are pure in their own eyes, and yet is not washed from their filthiness. There is a generation, oh, how lofty are their eyes, and their eyelids are lifted up. Yeah, it flip-flops. Good generation, bad generation. Agnostic generation, good generation, bad generation, agnostic generation. That seems to be the repeating pattern that keeps happening time after time after time. There is a generation whose teeth are as swords, and their jaw teeth as knives, to devour the poor from off the earth, and the needy from among men. The horse leash hath 2 daughters, crying, Give, give. There are 3 things that are never satisfied. Yea, 4 things say not, It is enough. The grave is never satisfied. The barren womb is never satisfied. The earth that is not filled with water is never satisfied. And the fire that saith not, It is enough. The eye that mocketh at his father, and despiseth to obey his mother, the ravens of the valley shall pick it out, that eye, and the young eagles shall eat it. Don't be the guy that mocks your father and despises the rule of your mother. You listen to that woman. She knows what she's talking about. What? Huh? You didn't get that? I'll read it again. The horse leash hath 2 daughters, crying, Give, give. This is a metaphor. Horse leash has 2 sides. You pull one side, the horse goes that way. You pull the other side, the horse goes that way. Give, give, right? The horse is just trying to go straight. So it's a tug of war. There are 3 things that are never satisfied. Yea, 4 things say not. meaning there are four things that are never satisfied. It is enough, meaning something will never say it's enough and you be satisfied with what you have. You understand what I'm saying? That's what he's saying. Four things say not, it is enough. Four things are never satisfied: the grave, the barren womb, the earth not filled with water, and a fire that saith not, it is enough. A fire consumes everything. It never satisfied. It'll consume until there's nothing left to burn. It'll never go out as long as there's fuel to burn it. So those four things are never satisfied. And then it says, the eye that mocketh at his father and despiseth to obey his mother, the ravens of the valley shall pluck out that eye, and the young eagles will eat it. Meaning, don't be that guy. Always obey your father. Don't mock him. Listen to his wisdom. And certainly listen to the wisdom of your mama. Mamas know things. There be... I might have skipped something. Hang on. Nope. I didn't skip anything. There be three things which are too wonderful for me. Yea, four which I know not. Meaning there are four things that are too wonderful for me. The way of an eagle in the air, the way of a serpent upon a rock, the way of a ship in the midst of the sea, and the way of a man with a maid. That's a little saucy. I guess that guy's a virgin, because he has no idea what that's like. It's too wonderful for me. I can't take it. It's too much. Such is the way of an adulterous woman. She eateth and wipeth her mouth, and saith, I have done no wickedness. Oh, yeah, you have, because one of the commandments is do not commit adultery. For three things the earth is disquieted, and for four which it cannot bear. So there's four things that the earth is disquieted by and cannot bear. For a servant when he reigneth, and a fool when he is filled with meat, or understanding, or helpfulness. For an odious woman when she is married, and a handmaid that is heir to her mistress. Those four things cause a lot of problems. It's too much for the world to bear, this metaphorically speaking, not literally speaking. There be four things which are little upon the earth, but they are exceedingly wise. The ants are a people not strong. Notice that he referred to ants as people. Yet prepare their meat in the summer. On more than one occasion, God says, consider the ant. So apparently he thinks pretty highly of them. And what do? They work together as a team, not one of them having one mind, but all of them working as one hive mind together. Following the rule of their queen, they go out and do their job, and they work tirelessly, day and night, to do their job, which is to build the nest and bring food back to it. And they don't have any need for any of the things that we have need of. They just do what they're supposed to do. They prepare meat in the summer so that they have meat for the winter. That's what he thinks is honorable about them. The Connies are but a feeble folk, yet make their houses in the rocks. A Connie is a goat, and they live on the rock ledges. They're feeble. They don't have a lot of strength, but there's thousands of them, and they live in the rocks in the Middle East. The locusts have no king, yet they forth all of them by bands. You ever watched a locust make a field disappear? They have no leader, yet they all know what to do. to be a locust. They go out and they strip a field bare in a matter of minutes. It's fascinating. And they travel in bands like birds do, in waves of locusts. Yet they have no king. And the spider taketh hold with her hands, and is in kings' palaces. Now, do spiders have hands? No, says the scientist, they have 8 legs. Unless you're God and you consider the back 4 legs and the top 4 or 2 hands. They have 4 sets of hands, 2 legs on each side, which are hands because they're in the front. The legs in the back are legs because they're in the back. Notice there's a dividing line between the legs. Some go that way, some go that way. I think God knows what he's talking about here. And yet they live in kings' palaces, and nobody can seem to stop them. And they're just tiny little things, but they're everywhere. They rule the world. Did you know that ants outnumber people 10 to 1 or more? Whose planet is this? Because we certainly are not the one in the most number. There are more ants under your feet, probably, than there are in the city in which you live. And they're in every continent, all over the world, living just beneath the dirt. Billions of them. There be 3 things which go well, yea, 4 are comely in the going. A lion which is strongest among beasts, and turneth not away for any. A greyhound, and he-goat also, and a king against whom there is no rising up. A king that everybody loves. Those things are very comely. In other words, they're beautiful to behold. It's probably more than 4 things, but there's 4 things for the purposes of this parable. If thou hast done foolishly in lifting up thyself, or if thou hast thought evil, lay thine hand upon thy mouth. Stop talking. Surely the churning of milk bringeth forth butter, and the wringing of the nose bringeth forth blood. Yes, it does. You don't believe me? Let me punch you in the nose one time and see if it don't bleed. So the forcing of wrath bringeth forth strife. Let your wrath go away. Don't keep a grudge. Don't be hateful. Don't be angry to the point of wanting to revenge for whatever it is you're angry about. It brings strife. It never solves the problem. The words of King Lemuel, the prophecy that his mother taught him. What, my son? And what, the son of my womb? And what, the son of my vows? Give not thy strength unto women, nor thy ways to that which destroyeth kings. It is not for kings, O Lemuel. It is not for kings to drink wine, nor for princes strong drink, lest they drink and forget the law and pervert the judgment of any of the afflicted. Give strong drink unto him that is ready to perish, and wine unto those that be of heavy hearts. A little wine is good for the stomach or the heart. Makes you feel better, a little bit. All things in moderation, people. Let him drink and forget his poverty, and remember his misery no more. Open thy mouth for the dumb in the cause of all such as are appointed to destruction. Open thy mouth, judge righteously, and plead the cause of the poor and needy. Who can find a virtuous woman? I don't know, I hadn't found one. For her price is far above rubies. Priceless, I would say. A real virtuous woman? Yeah, priceless. The heart of her husband doth safely trust in her, because he knows she'll be faithful to him. That's what a virtuous woman does. She's honorable. She's faithful. She's strong. Tame? Huh? so that he shall have no need of spoil. He doesn't need to go out and find another woman. He's got one at home that's every bit what he needs. She will do him good and not evil all the days of her life. She seeketh wool and flax and worketh willingly with her hands. That's the key. She's willing to upkeep his household. She is like the merchant's ships. She bringeth her food from afar. A woman knows how to feed her family. Were you saying that I'm tame or lame? What are you saying there? I know you didn't mean to say it, but you said it. So what does that mean? I don't know what you meant. Amen. That's not what tame. You can't mistype tame and make amen. The A and the T are not that close together. She riseth also while it is yet night, and giveth meat to her household, and a portion to her maidens. Before the sun even comes up, she's busy. That's what a real woman does. She considereth the field and buyeth it. Women have power? Oh, yeah. Women were landowners in those days, and smart at it, pretty good at it. That's why so many men have legacies now, because their women were smart and bought up all this property while it was cheap. With the fruit of her hands she planteth a vineyard, to make sure her family has food to eat, or tends her garden. She girdeth her loins with strength, and strengtheneth her arms. She gets stronger. She does whatever's necessary. She's out there working for her family, because that's what virtue is. That's what strength is. She perceiveth that her merchandise is good. What merchandise? Fat merchandise. And she'd be right. It is good. Her candle goeth not out by night. She works both day and night, continually preparing a good home for her husband. Now, this is talking about a woman doing a lot of work, and women are like, hey, what am I, just a slave? No. You do that because your man gets his ass out at the ass crack of dawn and brings home the bacon. That's his job, to provide that home for you to toil in and work and make a home. That's not your privy, that's his. It's an equal footing. Both man and woman living in harmony together, each having their own job to do. That is virtue. Yes, you can do it other ways. Well, I wear the pants in the family. Well, you go right ahead, but you won't be happy. You want to be happy? Do it the way God intended it to be done, and you'll be happy. Focus on your children. Focus on your husband. Focus on your family. Let him focus on struggling and striving to bring home that bacon, and everybody will be happy. She layeth her hands to the spindle, and her hands hold the distaff. She makes clothing. She does what's necessary. She stretcheth out her hand to the poor. Yea, she reacheth forth her hands to the needy. She is not afraid of the snow for her household, for all her household are clothed with scarlet. She made sure to make them all jackets, and they're pretty, and they look good. And she did that, so she's not worried about freezing to death. She's got it covered. That's a real woman. That's a woman I'm looking for. And yes, if I find her, I will bend over backwards to give her everything her heart desires. And I won't stop. I'll protect her and I'll provide for her. But she'll do these things for me. And that will be a good balance, which means I'm going to die alone. She maketh herself coverings of tapestry. Her clothing is silk and purple. She's beautiful. She's well dressed. She's well kept. She has a good appearance for her husband. Her husband is known in the gates. She sees him coming. She knows when he gets home. She's waiting for him at the door when he gets there, with a smile on her face and a beer in her hand, or whatever. When he sitteth among the elders of the land, she's right behind him. Behind every great man is a greater woman, and don't you ever forget that. That's what makes a great man. That's what allows him the right to be a great man, is an even greater woman, and you should treat her with as much loftiness and put her on such a pedestal because of it, because that is respect. She maketh fine linen and selleth it. She delivereth girdles unto the merchant. Strength and honor are her clothing, and she shall rejoice in time to come, because she has a strong and well taken care of family. She openeth her mouth with wisdom, and in her tongue is the law of kindness. She looketh well to the ways of her household, and eateth not the bread of idleness. She's never sitting still. She's always busy. Her children arise up and call her blessed. Her husband also, he praiseth her. Many daughters have done virtuously, but thou exceedest them all. That's where we're going to stop for today, ladies and gentlemen. The beauty and the power of a good woman. All you ladies out there, take note. This is who you are. Live it, be proud of it, learn from it. And all you men out there, if you happen upon a woman like that, you better get your ass up and get busy, boy, because you can't keep her unless you can provide. I hope this book has touched you and enlightened you and made you feel good about yourself and brought comfort into your life and encourages you to read further and to learn more. I'm going to attempt to play my commercial now. Watch me crash. Hope I don't, but if I do, I'll be back. Hit that subscribe button and press the bell icon so you get notifications of when I'm going to be here. Smash the like button. It's right in front of you. There's no reason not to. Share this video with somebody you love. Better yet, share it with somebody you don't love. Bring them into the family. Make them part of the fold. Be part of their solutions, not part of their problems. Leave a comment down below and let me know what you're thinking about. Question me, curse me, bless me, challenge me, confront me, conform with me, drink my Kool-Aid. Drink your own Kool-Aid as long as you're thinking critically. That's what I want. And if you love the Word of God, and if you can see the value in what I'm trying to create here, and you'd like to be part of that, be part of something special, or if God has told you you should send your tithes, offerings, or love offerings, or if you feel led to help out in some way, or if you'd like to just pat me on the back and say, hey, nice job, Jake, or if you'd like to buy me a brand new computer so I don't have problems anymore, won't you consider going to paypal.me/JakeJohnsonBand and supporting the channel? Every little bit helps. It's a win-win. It's a blessing for me. It's a blessing for you too. God notices these things in this reciprocal universe in which we live. I thank you so much for the support and trust, and I will do my utmost to be worthy of it. With that, I will round out this video by taking your questions and comments. Hey, how's everybody doing? Did you enjoy that tonight? Did you learn?